Imagine this for the next 24 hours. You become the deliberate architect of your financial reality, not by hustling harder, not by waiting for the right moment, but by speaking a single precise command into the invisible substance of the universe, every hour, on the hour. Just 15 seconds of your voice, vibrating with intention, repeated 12 times in one day, can shift the ground beneath your feet and open doors you didn't even know existed. You don't need complex rituals, endless journaling, or weeks of waiting. What I'm about to share with you is a spiritual ignition switch, one that Florence Scovel Shinn would smile at, because it works with the most ancient unbreakable law there is, the law of the spoken word. Right now, opportunities are circling you like planes in a holding pattern waiting for a runway to land. The truth, that runway is your word. Every statement you release becomes a blueprint that unseen forces rush to fulfill. And when you give that word a clear time container, one day, 12 repetitions, one per hour, you turn that casual wish into a laser-focused order that the universe can't help but deliver. Think about it. How many stray thoughts, casual complaints, and vague some days have already been broadcast from your mind today? Now imagine replacing them with a rhythmic pulse of power, a verbal command, said with authority, sealing your financial identity every single hour. You are no longer reacting to life, you are programming it. You're not asking if abundance might arrive, you're commanding it to show up now. And here's the beauty. You don't have to see the how. You don't have to figure out which person, which email, which chance meeting will be the bridge. Your only job is to speak, with faith, with the certainty that your words are seeds in the most fertile soil possible. Each hour is like planting another seed, and by the 12th, you've created a small forest of possibility ready to burst through the surface. In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you inside the spiritual mechanics of why this works, the exact command you can use, and how to anchor it into your mind so deeply that you feel opportunities moving toward you before the day is even over. But this is just the beginning. I didn't stumble onto this hourly command by accident. It was born from a season in my life where I had nothing left to lean on but the power of my own word. I had read Florence Scovel Shinn for years, underlining passages and nodding in agreement, but one day her words stopped being theory and became survival. I remember sitting at my small desk, staring at unpaid bills, an empty inbox, and a calendar that looked like a desert. I'd tried the typical affirmations before, repeating them in the morning, maybe once at night, but they felt like tossing a coin into a fountain and walking away. Nice idea, but no momentum. That's when it hit me. Florence often spoke about the immediacy of the spoken word, that when you speak with conviction, the spiritual supply is already there, waiting to be claimed. I realized I wasn't giving my words a fighting chance. I was dropping them once or twice a day into a sea of contradicting thoughts. So I set up an experiment, for one day only, just 24 hours. I would anchor myself to a single, clear, powerful financial command, not a wish, not a polite request, a direct instruction to the unseen realm, and I would speak it on the hour, every hour that I was awake, with the same tone I'd use to tell someone to pass the salt at dinner. Calm, certain, final. The first few hours felt mechanical. I even forgot once and had to double up in the next hour. But then, around midday, something shifted. My voice carried more authority, my mind stopped arguing, and that's when small signs began to show. A message from someone I hadn't heard from in years, a random refund hitting my account, an idea for a collaboration that had been sitting dormant suddenly resurfacing. By the end of the day, I had more movement in 24 hours than I'd had in the previous month. It wasn't just the results that stunned me, it was the clarity. I knew exactly what had happened. I'd finally aligned with the spiritual laws that Florence taught, and I had given those laws a schedule. Because here's the truth. The universe responds to rhythm. Nature itself moves in cycles. Sunrise and sunset, tides, moon phases, seasons. When you set a command inside a time container, you harness that natural rhythm. Each hourly repetition builds a spiritual current that grows stronger as the day unfolds. Over time, I refined the process. I learned how the law of the word responds instantly when your speech is firm, how the law of assumption locks in the emotional reality of your desire, how the law of circulation starts moving resources toward you when you speak as if you're already in the flow. And I discovered that the human mind loves short-term challenges. 1 day, 7 days, far more than vague, endless keep affirming until something happens. In a moment, I'm going to break down exactly why this hourly command ritual works by walking you through the 7 spiritual prosperity laws that power it and how each law gets amplified when you tie it to time-based repetition. But that hasn't just the foundation. The real shift happens when you see these laws not as theory, but as an engine you can start today. Ready to see how each law clicks into place? Then let's 6 go deeper. Alright, let's 6 open the vault. What you're about to hear is the framework that sits under this hourly command ritual. These aren't just nice ideas or vague spiritual platitudes. They're the same immutable principles Florence Scovel Shinn taught nearly a century ago, adapted to a precise time-bound practice that keeps you in active creation all day long. I'll walk you through each of the 7 spiritual laws of prosperity and show you how they work specifically with a 24-hour 12-repetition cycle. 1. The law of the word. This is the cornerstone. It states that every word you speak is a seed dropped into the fertile soil of the universe. The moment it's spoken with belief, it begins to take root in the unseen. In the hourly ritual, each spoken command is like planting another seed in a tightly packed row. By the end of the day, you haven't just tossed out a casual phrase, you've planted an entire garden of the same seed, ensuring the energy is concentrated, not scattered. Example: if your command is opportunities now flow to me in perfect order, saying it once a day is like tossing one pebble into a lake. Saying it 12 times in rhythm is like striking a steady drumbeat that the universe can't ignore. You're not reminding God or Spirit, you're fortifying your own inner certainty. 2. The law of assumption. Florence taught that you must act and feel as though your desire is already yours. The mind doesn't respond to begging or hoping, it responds to the identity you embody. In this ritual, every repetition is a mini immersion into the state of already having. Because you're speaking once an hour, you don't drift far from that state before you're pulled back into it. It's like renewing the scent of perfume every hour so the fragrance stays rich all day. Example: if you say, I am now receiving abundant financial opportunities, you say it as though the opportunities are already in your inbox, already calling your phone, already shaking your hand. 3. The law of substitution. Your mind cannot hold 2 opposing thoughts at the same time. By speaking your command every hour, you actively replace stray fears, doubts, and what-ifs with the reality you choose. It's a conscious overwrite. Over 24 hours, you end up creating a chain of thought that leaves less and less space for negativity to creep in. Example: instead of thinking, this probably won't work, your spoken command forces the mind to hear, it's already working. This shift is subtle at first, but by hour 6 or 7, it feels natural. 4. The law of circulation. Prosperity is not a stagnant pool, it's a current. This law says that as you give, you receive, as you release, you create space for more. Every time you speak your command, you're sending out a wave of energy that immediately begins to circle back. Doing it hourly is like keeping the current fresh and strong. You're never letting the waters go still. Example: picture a water wheel. Every turn scoops and releases water, keeping the motion alive. Your 12 repetitions are 12 turns of that wheel. 5. The law of agreement. When 2 or more are in agreement, the thing is established. In this case, the 2 are your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. The hourly schedule works because your conscious mind keeps delivering the same message until your subconscious stops resisting and agrees. Once that agreement is reached, manifestation becomes automatic. Example: by hour 10, your subconscious has heard the same confident tone so many times that it starts to accept it as fact, even before you see evidence. 6. The law of identity. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. The ritual is powerful because it doesn't just affirm a desire, it rehearses your identity. Every repetition is a reminder of who you are in relation to prosperity. By the end of 24 hours, you've inhabited that identity so consistently that it feels less like pretending and more like remembering. Example: I am a magnet for perfect opportunities isn't describing something you hope will happen, it's describing your core nature and your voice is confirming it. 7. The law of obedience. This isn't about blind submission, it's about aligning with the natural laws that govern prosperity. When you speak on the hour, you're demonstrating obedience to the principle of consistent action. You're showing the universe that you can be trusted with wealth, because you are disciplined enough to steward your own words. Example: think of it as keeping an appointment with Spirit every hour. You're proving that this isn't random, it's sacred practice. When you weave these 7 laws into a single day of focused verbal command, you create a vortex, a day where your energy doesn't leak, your mind doesn't wander, and your spiritual signal is as clear as it gets. It's not just the words that create the shift, it's the timing, the rhythm, and the alignment with universal law. But knowing the laws is only half the power. The other half is in how you walk through the day, hour by hour, turning this from a concept into a living, breathing practice. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you next. Alright, let's lay out your hour-by-hour prosperity map so you can step into this a cada hora por un dia ritual and feel its momentum working before the 24 hours are even over. This is where we take all those laws we just explored and put them into your actual schedule, giving your words a physical container to work within. Step 0. Preparing the ground. Before the first hour begins, you set your command. Keep it short, under 15 seconds when spoken. It must be present tense, as if it's already true. Specific in direction but broad enough for Spirit to choose the form. Charged with gratitude and authority. Examples: I now receive perfect financial opportunities with ease and in divine order. Money and opportunities find me now, quickly and in abundance. Everything I need for my prosperity flows to me today, without delay. Write it down, speak it aloud once to lock it in, and then set a reminder, your phone, a timer, even sticky notes, so you cannot forget each hour. Hour 1. The initiation. The first time you say it, stand tall, breathe deeply, and speak as if you're giving a royal decree. This is the signal to your mind and the universe that the day has officially begun under your command. Picture your words leaving your mouth and becoming light, moving into the unseen realm to find their match. Hour 2. 4. The building phase. These early repetitions are about rhythm. You may not feel it yet, that's fine. Your job here is obedience to the schedule. Speak the command with calm certainty. If doubt creeps in, remember, the law of substitution is already replacing that with truth. During these hours, keep your body language open, shoulders back, chin slightly raised, each time you speak. You're anchoring the law of identity into your physiology. Hour 5. 6. The shift begins. By now, something subtle happens. Your subconscious starts to soften. You might feel lighter, or notice your mind wandering less toward lack. Say your command with a touch more warmth in your tone, as though you're telling someone good news. This amplifies the law of assumption, because you're starting to feel the truth of what you're saying. Hour 7. 9. The current strengthens. Here's where the law of circulation really kicks in. Each spoken command sends another wave outward, but you may start to see little synchronicities, a message from a friend, an unexpected idea, a thought about someone who could help. Act on these gently, no chasing, just receiving. Between hours, keep your mind in agreement by silently repeating the command in moments of pause. Hour 10. 11. The agreement seals. At this stage, you've spoken the same words so many times that your conscious and subconscious are nearly in full alignment, the law of agreement in motion. Say the command with deep authority now, as though you are signing a contract that is already fulfilled. Smile as you speak, it seals the energy and joy. Hour 12. The completion and release. This final repetition is both an ending and a beginning. Stand or sit in stillness for a few seconds after speaking. Imagine the 12 commands as 12 golden arrows, all now flying toward their target. Release the how entirely. You've planted, watered, and tended the garden. Now you let the harvest come. Extra layer. Before sleeping. While this is a one-day ritual, you can give it a final supercharge before bed. Speak your command once more, softly, as you lie down. Let it be the last sound your subconscious hears before drifting into the realm where most manifestation groundwork is done. Pro tips for amplification. Add a sensory anchor each time you speak. Touch your heart or clasp your hands to signal the body that this is sacred. Stay unattached to form opportunities may come disguised. Your job isn't to evaluate instantly, but to receive openly. Track the signs. Jot down any movement, however small. This builds proof for your logical mind, making future rituals even more potent. Now you have the blueprint for the practice itself. But there's still one more piece to lock in the shift: the actual words you can use. A set of affirmations crafted in first person, saturated with the vibration of prosperity, and tuned for maximum response in a time-bound ritual. And those are what I'm about to give you next. Here are the affirmations, spoken in first person, built to align with the 7 prosperity laws we explored, and tuned specifically for a 24-hour hourly repetition ritual. They are short enough to say in 15 seconds or less, yet potent enough to carry the full charge of your intention. You can choose one for the entire day, or rotate between 2 or 3 for variation, but I recommend staying with one core command if you want the highest concentration of energy. Affirmation Set 1. Command of immediate flow. I now receive perfect financial opportunities, easily, quickly, and in divine order. They are finding me this very moment. This one works directly with the law of the word and law of assumption. You speak as though the opportunities are already en route, with no room for delay or hesitation. Affirmation Set 2. Command of magnetic identity. I am a magnet for wealth and opportunities. Everything meant for my prosperity is already drawn to me now. This affirms identity, activating the law of identity and law of agreement. You are not chasing, you are attracting because it is who you are. Affirmation Set 3. Command of overflow. My channels of abundance are open, and money flows to me in ways I expect and in ways I cannot yet imagine. This works with the law of circulation and law of substitution. You keep energy flowing toward you and replace doubt with expectation. Affirmation Set 4. Command of spiritual obedience. I speak my word, and it is done. Divine order now brings me more than I have asked for, in perfect timing. This invokes law of obedience. You give the command as though it's already fulfilled, and the universe responds in kind. How to use these in the ritual. Tone: calm authority, no strain. Body language: shoulders back, chin slightly raised, feet planted. Breath: inhale before speaking, exhale through the words to push them into the field. Feeling: even if you can't feel belief in the first repetitions, act as though you do. By hour 6 or 7, your emotions will catch up. Example of a full 15-second command sequence. Stand still, take a deep breath. Say, I now receive perfect financial opportunities, easily, quickly, and in divine order. They are finding me this very moment. Pause for 2 seconds. Visualize a door opening or a phone lighting up with news. Go back to your day without forcing the how. Remember, in this ritual you are not begging, not hoping, not trying to convince the universe. You are delivering a statement of fact to an obedient system that works by law, not by chance. The timing, repetition, and tone are the levers that turn this from an affirmation into a command. Now, you've got the laws, the hour-by-hour map, and the words. The final step is knowing how to seal this ritual so the momentum doesn't fade after the 24 hours are over. That's what I'll share next: the closing activation and the way to turn this from a one-day experiment into a repeatable wealth ritual that gets stronger each time. Here's how we close this ritual so it doesn't just end at hour 12. It transforms into a self-reinforcing cycle of prosperity you can repeat anytime you need a surge of opportunity. 1. The completion moment. When the 12th command of the day leaves your lips, don't just walk away. Stand still for a few seconds. Feel the echoes of every repetition you've made in the last 24 hours hanging in the air like a golden hum. In this moment, imagine them stacking together, 12 beams of light forming a perfect circle around you. This is the energetic container that will keep the vibration alive beyond today. 2. The thank you seal. Gratitude is the lock that keeps the door open. After your final command, say aloud, "Thank you, Spirit, for the perfect opportunities already arriving now. I receive them with joy and wisdom." This shifts you from the role of asking to the role of receiving, which is where true manifestation happens. The law of circulation thrives on this: what you acknowledge and bless expands. 3. The evidence journal. Before bed, take 5 minutes to note every sign of movement, no matter how small. A conversation, an idea, a random invitation, write it down. Why? Because the mind loves proof, and when you read it later, it strengthens the law of assumption. You train yourself to notice the subtle ways the universe responds to your commands. 4. The resting release. After journaling, speak your command one last time, softly, without force. Let it be the lullaby, your subconscious falls asleep. 2. The moment before sleep is when the conscious guard drops, and your word sinks directly into the fertile soil of the subconscious. Florence Scovel Shinn called this sending your word on its way. It works like a letter already addressed and mailed. 5. The next day integration. Here's the key. Don't break the energy the next day by overanalyzing or checking if it worked. Instead, live as if the command is already fulfilled. If the ritual delivered signs, act on them. If nothing visible happened yet, trust that the current is still moving under the surface. The law of obedience rewards consistency and calm expectancy. 6. The repeat cycle. You can repeat this ritual once a week, once a month, or during seasons when you feel stagnant. Each time it becomes easier for your subconscious to accept your command quickly because it recognizes the pattern and knows what's coming. Think of it like training a muscle. Every rep builds strength. 7. The expansion challenge. Once you've mastered the 24-hour, 12-command cycle, you can experiment with other time containers. 7 days, same command, once per hour, for 7 consecutive days, builds unstoppable agreement in the subconscious. Before sleep for 21 nights, the same command once before bed, letting the subconscious work uninterrupted during sleep cycles. On the hour for a single goal, perfect for urgent breakthroughs where you need focused short-term results. Here sits what I want you to remember. This isn't magic in the sense of randomness. It's law, as reliable as gravity. Your word is the seed. The time container is the garden bed. The repetition is the watering. The laws we discussed are the sunlight, soil, and nutrients, and the results. They're simply the harvest of what you've planted and tended with precision. So when you speak today, you're not just talking to the air, you're building a living structure in the unseen brick by brick, until the day it stands in your visible world. Now the next step is yours. Set your command, set your timer, and give the universe 12 clear, rhythmic reasons to deliver what's already yours. And if you truly want this to become a permanent part of your prosperity toolbox, I've prepared something special. A guided audio version of the 24-hour ritual that walks you through each repetition, tone, and pause, so you can just follow along and stay in the energy without effort. Would you like me to script that guided audio for you next? It will align perfectly with everything we just built here.